basically I'm using these templates to do just a very simple, skull painting. In this business, a lot of motorcycles, we do a lot of skull work, and when you're doing this many per day, it's nice to have something you can just pick up and blow in some registration to get a really cool looking skull, no matter what your ability is. So I'm just starting with some black paint on a gray board, a gray piece of metal, and just doing some very light shading around the outer edge of the skull, the tops of the eye sockets, and I'm flipping the template over and doing the other side. This template's nice because it's symmetrical on both sides, so you can use it as is. You can also pop the skull and separate it from the other side of the template by cutting a few tabs. You can just hold the skull in place and do it all in one shot. And all I've done here is just a very simple amount of shading and around the edge of the template. And I'll put it back on and I'll go in for some more contrast, blow a little bit more black in there, add some more mineral staining coming down, make it look like some water is pouring out of the skull, like maybe it was a fountain on a wall or something like that at one point in its life. And I'm going around the outer edge of the skull, doing a little core shadow, very minimal freehand here, just some light shading. When I work, I like to work slowly and bring my color values up, my shadows down. So I'll start very light and then I'll continue to add more paint just to build the structure and not try to go in one shot and nail it all at once. As some of you guys have known, if you recently new to airbrushing, it's very hard to take away work. It's very easy to keep adding more and more. So you definitely don't want to overwork it too fast, and I feel by just slowly working it, you'll get a better overall picture, and it won't look overworked at the end. Now I'm flipping to the look up template. The first one was actually called Head Down, and we're going to put him up in the upper left hand corner. Same thing as the first. We're going to flip it and go to the right side. Just kind of making a little pile of skulls here. Now we're going to add Say Ah. This is one of my favorite ones. I like doing him. He works really good on front fenders of bikes and noses of cars and things like that. And if you notice that the templates are different size, there's actually 2 different sizes of all the templates. There's 6 in each set, and you can do the bigger one in the foreground, the smaller ones in the background. It'll give you some foreshortening and just a feeling of depth. And I'll go back in with the template and carve some more contrast to push those smaller skulls into the background more, keeping the head down skull in the foreground. Again, all I'm using here is just black. I haven't switched to any colors. Some of these templates, like Say Ah, also come with kind of bonus things around the edges. This one has like a broken glass edge, broken concrete. Just same as the skull template, just blow in some registration. In this case, I moved it up like 1/8 of an inch and sprayed it again to kind of give it a 3-dimensional, beveled look. Later on, we're going to add a little bit more to the cracks and bring them up a little further. But you can see right here by itself, it's a good piece. If you were doing like a candy ghost job, this would be great to do some red candy over a silver base or tape out some flames. We're going to keep this as is. So what I'm using now is some of the positive elements of the template by going around like the tops of the eyebrows and punching them out with some white. The top of the nose bridge, the the bottoms of the teeth, just to kind of give it a little bit of light sourcing. Again, not much freehand here. Just using the template as I go. Basically trying to add some contrast to it. Right now I'm going around the edge of the head, and then I'll blow in a light source right at the top of the skull. And it's real simple just to get a nice overall look of the skull. Again, depending on your ability level, you can stop at any time. I'm going to do the bottom of the eye socket. Understanding light sourcing is real key. Practice it. Look at how light reflects off objects, and the airbrush is great for this because you can suddenly bring in all those highlights. We're going to put some eyes in there using these 3 circles. We're going to go to just use the 2 of them, and that's going to give me that one sinister eyeball, like he's just keeping an eye on you. And punch out the bottom of the nose bridge. And I think, right now we've only been about, just over 5 minutes, and we already got a really nice piece working. I'm going to move some of the other skulls here and bring up some of the highlights on them. Bring up the teeth and the nose bridge of the say piece. Do the bottom of the eye socket on both sides. These are really fun projects just to practice. You can do them in so many different combinations. The more freehand ability, a lot of times I'll slightly blow in a very light registration of one of these templates and then completely change it, completely gnarl it up, add ears, add horns, add all sorts of stuff to it. By the time it's done, it won't even look like you used a template. It'll look like a complete original. So they're really great for adding, elements to a bigger painting. When you might have like a big Grim Reaper or something, have a lot of skulls around them or in the background of the clouds. They're really good for that. Saves you a ton of time as far as you don't have to sketch out every single one of it, just for background filler. Or for smaller pieces like fenders or sides of gas tanks. These are great by themselves, and doing this with some real fire coming off them, or go as far as you want with them. But I really try to cater them so anyone from a amateur who just started, who's just getting his feet wet with the airbrush, to someone who's been working in this industry for a long time like myself. I'm going to go in and just add some highlighting around those cracks and kind of punch them out a little bit more. Sorry for getting my shoulder in the way there. I'm going with the black again. We'll carve some more shadowing here after we did the highlight. The white, and just kind of sink back that eye and make those eye sockets a little deeper in the nose bridge. You can see the slow process, I think, works a lot nicer. Ends up looking more realistic. It doesn't look so one-dimensional. By working slow, you just get a chance to really work with your stuff and not have it work against you. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much a wrap-up right now. And depending on your ability, you can go freehand with more and more detail. This is what I did towards the end, maybe another 5 minutes to get that look. Hope you enjoyed it.